Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Who is this?
Big Bucs.
Big Bucs. Let's go ahead and get this party started, Bears fans. Walter Payton, it's the man.
Find Cole Kmet wide open. Touchdown, Bears.
Let me put it on again. KIEQ is on fire. I love it. I could probably beat him in the 40. Let's freaking go, Chicago Bears fans. Breaking news out of Chicago.
I think I can fit in as like a water boy for the Panthers or something. I'm not talking about get on the field,
Put it right behind me, so every time I'm on the podcast, like, you got Isaiah Fry's jersey? Hell yeah, I do.
Let's go.
You got on with the Bears organization. You got high up. Would I be like a water boy for you or something? What's going on? What role am I? Comment Bear down if you love KIEQ on the Mic and if you love the Chicago Bears.
Who is this?
George S. House.
And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic.
What is going on, Chicago Bears fans? Good morning to every single one of you guys. Once again, this is KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. And we are going to be doing an all-day live stream. It's going to be a live free agency tracker right here on the podcast. This is the All Chicago Bears podcast, but we're going to be reacting to all the free agency news. The open negotiation period opens in about 29 minutes, 9 a.m. PST, my time. It could be different for you, but all in all, it's going to open in another 29 minutes. So I do appreciate you guys tuning in. And like I said, when there's breaking news, we're going to be following it all day long. We're going to break it here first, right here on KIEQ on the Mic. So do me a huge favor by, first and foremost, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button as well, and sharing this podcast with every single Bears and NFL fan that you know. And here's how we're going to break the news. Obviously, we have it right here. We're going to go through, the live tracker here. And of course, I'm going to have it on my phone as well as news comes in. And then, of course, we're going to react to this news as well. Some big news this morning already. Khalil Mack going back to the Los Angeles Chargers to on a 1-year, $18 million fully guaranteed deal. I know there's kind of some rumors and smoke about Khalil Mack making a reunion with the Chicago Bears. But obviously it did not happen. And now he's back to the Los Angeles Chargers on a 1-year deal. Of course, the Colts keep their right tackle, Braden Smith, going back to the Indianapolis Colts. And then right now, like I said, we're going to be having a lot of news here in the next couple of minutes, right? And I expect the Chicago Bears to be all in on Drew Dalman, the center currently of the Atlanta Falcons. I know Josh Sweat is probably high on their list as well, as they're looking for another edge rusher. And don't be surprised if they try to make a push for Milton Williams, the defensive tackle currently of the Philadelphia Eagles as well. But once again, I appreciate you guys being here so much. It's going to be a fun day as we break NFL news and, of course, Chicago Bears news as well. So what's going to happen today is when there's any breaking news, I'm just going to pop this up, breaking news, right? And then we're going to go ahead and give you guys that breaking news. So once again, let me know first and foremost where you are tuning in from, where you live. If you're a Bears fan, if you're a fan of a different NFL team, let me know in the comment section, what is your team? And also let me know who you want your team to sign today as the open negotiation period opens in the National Football League. And let's just remind ourselves that these moves cannot become official until honestly March 12th, and that is going to be this Wednesday. Once again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in with me. Someone says, New Jersey, bear down. I appreciate you, Andy Spencer, for tuning in today. I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be in all day, so you guys can come in and out, and just check on the news on what's going on with the Chicago Bears or what's going on in the NFL world. I wanted to do this for you guys, just to make sure you guys had another option for a live tracker as we go through all these free agency moves. Like I said, I'm super excited to be here today. I haven't done this ever, but like I said, I am excited. The podcast is almost approaching 16,000 subscribers, and KIEQ on the Mic is still growing. My main goal here is, obviously to be a Bears YouTuber / podcaster to give you guys all the breaking Bears news. But I also wouldn't mind kind of expanding it a little bit and also being an NFL/Chicago Bears podcaster. That is the goal. I have some exciting things coming up as, you know, just a content creator in general in the next couple of years. So just stay tuned with me, and honestly, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. I appreciate you guys so much. Once again, we have people tuning in, already 80 people in the chat this morning. I really appreciate you guys coming in this morning. Of course, we said Andy from New Jersey. We have, I believe, Edward says Slovakia, bear down to you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have Brandon White in the chat, says Florida Bears fan, FGB, hopefully. Yeah, FGB all day in the chat. Brandon White says Florida Bears fan, bear down, baby, FGB. Thank you so much, Brandon, for tuning in on this all day KIEQ on the Mic live stream. Make sure you guys share the live stream with every single Bears that you know. Like I said, I'm going to be here all day. We have Relentless Mikey in the chat. He says bear down from Chicago. Thank you so much, Mikey, for tuning in. I also see you a lot in the chat, so thank you so much for being a loyal KIEQ on the Mic listener. We have Matt in the chat. He says bear down from Orlando. Welcome, Matt from Orlando. Thank you so much for tuning in. Eric Thomas, how you doing, my man? He says, what's up, KIEQ? Iowa Bears fan. How you doing, Eric? I'm just another day. Super excited for all the news that's about to come in the next about 20 minutes. Ryan says, can't believe Twitter is down on free agency today. Yeah, I've been hearing that, right? Hopefully they get it back up. I think Elon Musk is trying to play a trick on us. And then obviously Dylan Prescott says, Twitter down again? Yes, it sounds like it. Hopefully it comes back up. You can't have Twitter break, or X, whatever it's called, on the most important day of the year. If you are a true football fan, this is one of the most important days of the whole year. So keep going. Someone says, Bears fan from Virginia. Terrence, welcome from Virginia. I really appreciate you guys. Reggie Malone says, Columbus, Georgia. Is that Columbus, Georgia? Bear down. Intro song is fire. Thank you so much for Reggie for all the nice compliments. I really appreciate that, because some people don't like my intro song, and it's okay. It's okay. Someone says X is still down, right? Dylan Prescott says Michigan's from Michigan. Thank you. Bears fan says bear down from Rapid City, SD. Is that South Dakota, I'm guessing, or is that San Diego? I'm thinking it's South Dakota. I'm going to say South Dakota. Jay said no Mac. Yes, old and bad get center from Raiders. Yeah, but we'll see what's going to happen. I know that you kind of been out on Khalil Mack this whole time, and that's totally fine. Brandon Campbell says go Bears, bear down to you as well. Brandon, thank you so much for tuning in. Someone said a Bears fan from Maryland. Love the show. Thank you so much, John. JC1 says bear down from Tennessee. Welcome. South Dakota. Okay, yes, I believe I kind of figured that SD meant South Dakota, but you could never be too sure. Once again, thank you so much. We have 90 people in the chat. We're going to be here for an all-day live stream as I'm going to do all the NFL news, tracking free agency on day one. I probably won't be on tomorrow or the next day, but I think the first day of free agency is always the most important. You get the first wave, and it's going to be hot and heavy, not only for the Chicago Bears, but all the other teams as well. But as always, I'm going to be breaking every single bit of Chicago Bears news right here on KIEQ on the Mic. Someone said go Bears. Jay also, Lakers, Chicago fan here. Respect you, especially your family. Appreciate your passion. You're a blessing. Thank you so much, Jay. Thank you so much for being a loyal listener of KIEQ on the Mic as well. We have Patrick says, hello, Bears. Bear down to you as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Eddie says Blue Ridge, GA, bear down to you as well, Eddie. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have Jared, bear down from Philippines. Thank you, Jared, all the way from the Philippines. Thank you so much for tuning in to KIEQ on the Mic. It's lovely to have 86 people already in the chat. And like I said, you guys can come in and out as you please, because I will be here all day. So make sure you hit that like button so everyone knows that I'm here. Right? So I really appreciate you guys. Once again, if you guys have not heard, Khalil Mack is not coming to the Chicago Bears. It was reported early this morning. Now he is going back to the Los Angeles Chargers, as you can see right here, on a 1-year, $18 million fully guaranteed deal. So no Khalil Mack for the Chicago Bears. But in just a short 20 minutes, the Chicago Bears are going to probably be aggressive on adding someone. I know that I've been hearing a lot of rumors that they want to add a key defensive line marquee player. So you look at the marquee defensive players. You have Josh Sweat, edge rusher. You have Milton Williams, defensive tackle. I'm pretty sure Chase Young re-signed. I'm not sure if that's official, but Chase Young is still on the board. He has familiarity, obviously, with Dennis Allen. So I think Josh Sweat may be the target for the Bears. Josh Sweat and Drew Dalman may be the top two. Oh, Terrence in the chat. Thank you so much. He says, keep the mic hot and hyped. I appreciate you, Terrence, for tuning in. Go ahead and continue to comment where you're tuning in from. Austin says, Bears fan from Tennessee. I appreciate you so much. Someone said, Dalman, Sweat, and Cup. Yeah, that would be a good trio of guys, right? Jay asks, KIEQ, what do you think? Shouldn't we move down best OT available than Caleb Johnson or Marion Hampton? Yeah, I think that may be the best bet for the Chicago Bears to trade down, add maybe an extra second round pick, and then continue to stack up on the offensive and defensive line, build the trenches. You win and lose in the trenches. We've been, as Bears fans, banging the table for years and years and years and years for the Chicago Bears to build the trenches. And it finally seems that with Ben Johnson in the fold, that he finally has Ryan Poles on the right track to build the trenches the right way, right? So I think you trade down, add Caleb Johnson, maybe Scatterboo from Arizona State, pair him with DeAndre Swift, continue to build the offensive line and defensive line, and you can be looking at a dangerous football team in the Chicago Bears, right? So I think they're doing it the right way. Someone said, what's up on Trey Henderson, please? Right now, it just seems like people are trying to negotiate a deal, maybe. I think the Chicago Bears are involved. It sounds like that the Bengals are looking for either a low second or a high third round pick, which Chicago Bears have 2 second round picks and, of course, a third round pick as well. I would give up my number 72 for Trey Hendrickson. The only problem is that he wants $30 million a year. He's 30 years old, obviously back-to-back 17 and a half sack seasons, right? So he's still an effective player, a first-team All-Pro last year. He would be really dynamic on the Chicago Bears defense alongside Montez Sweat. The only problem is the $30 million. I'm not sure if I'm willing to pay him all that money. Matt says, make day one big. Yeah, I hope so. The Bears are planning to be aggressive. Someone said definitely Drew Dalman. I hope so. Julio, thank you so much for tuning in. He says Chicago, LA would have been crazy to let Mac leave. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. I get why they brought him back. They actually released Bosa. That's now their top edge rusher. Khalil Mack's still a very, very good player. And to be quite honest with you, it would have cost a lot of money to get Khalil Mack, right? If he would have hit free agency and the Bears were actually interested, it would have probably cost the Bears $20+ million. And at 34 years old, I can understand that doesn't make any sense. Mikey says, KIEQ, trade 10 to Arizona for 16 and 47, draft Booker at 16. Yeah, I love Tyler Booker. And the thing about Tyler Booker is that look at where he played at. He played at Alabama, a pro-style offense. I think his transition is going to be seamless in the National Football League. Obviously, you bring Tyler Booker in. Obviously, you have Joe Thuney. But when you look at Jonah Jackson, a guy that has kind of had injury history, especially last year, you could bring him in as competition, and hopefully, hopefully Tyler Booker turns into that long-term guard starter. I think a lot of people view him in the National Football League as the best overall guard in this NFL draft. So it makes a lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. Someone says, I think the Bears are going to pay big time for Dio. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, the edge rusher from the Indianapolis Colts. I hope they don't overpay him. I think he's a pretty good player, but for me personally, I'd rather pay big money for Josh Sweat or Milton Williams, in my personal opinion. Now moving on, Patrick in the chat says, could Ryan Kelly be a good plan B if Drew Dalman signing doesn't work out? Yeah, him or a guy that I really like, and I've talked about him so many times, is Evan Brown. Evan Brown has familiarity with Ben Johnson, dating back to the Detroit Lion days, where he played center under Ben Johnson, and I believe had a Pro Bowl year playing center under Ben Johnson. So that could be an option. I know he had a pretty good year with the Arizona Cardinals, and you can obviously get him for a lot cheaper than what Drew Dalman is going to cost. So we'll see. There's definitely some options out there. But I think the Bears are trying to prioritize center just for the simple fact that it's not really top heavy in terms of the center class here in the NFL draft this year. So I believe they are really pushing hard for Drew Dalman, right? If they can't land Drew Dalman, then I think they're gonna go to Evan Brown or like a Ryan Kelly, right? So we'll see. Miguel, thank you so much for tuning in. It says, sup, KIEQ from Bakersfield, California, FGB. So we have another California native here, Bears fan. It's always good to see a lot of Bears fans here in California. It definitely runs deep. Someone said Evan Brown resigned. Yeah, that I have not seen that yet. That is probably new news, right? if Evan Brown actually resigned, we're going to have to check that out. Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me know, right? So it's one of those things, see, as the news comes in, it says D tackle Allen, Jared Allen recently got released by the Commanders, is visiting the Minnesota Vikings. That would be a good move for the Minnesota Vikings, right? So we're at the C. I really hope X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is not having issues all day. That would put a damper on a lot of people's plans. This is the most important day in free agency. Yeah, I don't see anything on Evan Brown quite yet, but if you're saying he re-signed, let me know where you see that. Edward says sign center Dalman, wide receiver Brown, and then said draft best possible edge. Thank you so much for that input. Yeah, I think that would be a really good plan. Yeah, someone said, I agree with being aggressive, but don't go berserk with the purse. Yeah, you don't have to go, crazy, but it's obvious the Bears need a center, right? They need a center to complete that interior offensive line. And then, of course, adding another edge or D tackle would be helpful, too, going into the NFL draft so you can have more flexibility. So if you can land Drew Dalman today, that gives you a whole lot of flexibility going into round one of the NFL draft. So someone just tweeted, it's one of my buddies, and I'm not going to say his name. One of my Bears used to be a content creator. He said, just got a text. All I can say is, wow, #Bears. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what that means. But we're going to find out here in 14 minutes. Once again, I do appreciate every single one of you guys being here with me. Matt, I love this idea. It says, if Graham drops to 10, how fast will we jump on that? I would run to the podium. If Mason Graham drops to number 10, that would be an outstanding pick for the Chicago Bears. That's just my personal opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me, but I would absolutely love Mason Graham on the Chicago Bears. So, like I said, we're getting close to the start of free agency. Once again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in today. Really, really do. It's going to be an all-day live stream free agency tracker right here on the podcast. You guys can continue to engage with me all day, hop in and out as you please, and just continue interacting with me and just react to every bit of news, just like how I'm going to be reacting to every bit of news on today's episode of KIEQ on the Mic. Once again, I definitely enjoy your guys' engagement and all the support you guys continue to show the channel. Yeah, I don't know what he made. He just said, wow, just got a text. People have their sources, right? And at times I think I even have some sources, right? I just choose not to share 24/7 because sources are rumors. It doesn't mean it's actually going to happen, but this is a good friend of mine, right? He's well connected with him as well. He just says, just got a text, and all I can say is, wow, #Bears. So hopefully something big's about to happen in Chicago, right? Of course, we all know Ryan Poles, they have money. They have $45 million in cap space to spend, which is still plenty to add another big time player to the Chicago Bears. Will he prioritize Drew Dalman, or is he trying to get Josh Sweat or Milton Williams? So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here. My question for you guys, the Bears fans in the chat, though, this is a serious question. Who would you rather see the Chicago Bears sign? If you can only sign one player, would you rather see Ryan Poles and the Bears sign Drew Dalman and get the interior offensive line figured out? Or do you want him to prioritize getting another D lineman in Josh Sweat or Milton Williams? For me, I would go Drew Dalman to fix that interior offensive line, to really complete it. And then you have a lot of flexibility to go in, to me, a top-heavy defensive line class here in the 2025 NFL draft. That's just my personal opinion. Says it's got to be both. Yeah, I'm just saying, but hypothetically, JC1, if you had to choose Drew Dalman or Josh Sweat or Milton Williams, which one are you choosing? Because all those guys, especially when you're looking at Milton Williams and you're looking at Josh Sweat, you're probably looking at $20 million plus for both of those guys, right? Each. With Drew Dalman, I don't think he's getting the $20 million, right? You're probably going to get him for $14 to $16 million, right? So I'm just asking, what would you guys personally want to do in free agency if it had to be you? JC1 says edge because the two new guards will make a center better. Absolutely. But you have to understand that sometimes the center also has to take care of business, and meaning, one-on-one matchups, right? But I do understand where you're coming from, that, when you have good guard play, it can make the center better. You still don't want a lame duck center, though. You still want a center that can handle their own. If the Chicago Bears feel like Coleman Shelton, for example, can handle his own, they probably would have already brought him back. That's just what I'm going to say, because I believe Coleman Shelton is a free agent, and they didn't bring him back yet. So I'm personally saying Dalman. Jason, if I had to choose Raiders former center, we got to pay Caleb in 3 years. Absolutely. Gotta save some money. Someone said, Edward said Drew Dalman. Yes, I agree. I absolutely think Drew Dalman is the way to go. That's the only thing I don't like about, social media is, people saying like, all I can say is, wow, like what's actually happening? We need a little bit of transparency here. Someone said Dalman. Patrick says, do you think Ryan Poles will restructure Jonah Jackson's contract because his cap hit is 17.5 for the season? Yeah, I think he's going to restructure his contract. And I also think there's a possibility that when we extend Joe Thuney, because he's up for a contract extension and the Bears are expected to give him that contract extension, that contract extension would actually save the Bears money as well on the book. So that's going to be good news for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. Once again, we are 9 minutes away from the start of the open negotiation period. So things are about to get crazy here in less than 10 minutes. So really stay tuned and buckle up for all the news that's about to happen here in the next 9 minutes. Like I said, I'm really excited to see what Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears have planned here in day one. It would actually be kind of funny if they made no moves today. Like if they just were quiet, which I don't see that happening because I know they really want. Now, I can't say that I know, but it seems like they really want Drew Dalman or a marquee defensive line player as well. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of these linemen that are good players. I'm not going to say they're great players. They're good players. They're going to get like $20 million plus a year. We're talking about some of the offensive linemen. And to me, that is absolutely insane, right? You're talking about guys like offensive tackle Dan Moore, which he has experience, right? He has good experience, but $20 million a year is a reach. And it's because people are desperate for offensive linemen, including the Chicago Bears. So I love the plan that Ryan Poles was aggressive prior to free agency, so he didn't really have to force his hand on giving a guy like Dan Moore or Aaron Banks $20 million a year, right? And it's just another wasted contract. You know what you're getting out of Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney's still considered one of the top, if not the top guard in the National Football League, right? And then even Jonah Jackson, when healthy, keyword when healthy, can also be a really good player and help bolster this offensive line. Raging Oracle says, KIEQ not playing. Sup, bro? Great morning to you. Thank you so much, Raging Oracle, for tuning in. No, I'm trying to break news for you guys right here. Enjoy a day of free agency. Like I said, I'll come back and forth as well as I go get food and go to the bathroom and all that good stuff. But I will be here for most of the day breaking Chicago Bears / NFL free agency news. As we are getting ever closer to the start of the open negotiation period. Once again, the Bears have also already done a whole lot of work to bolster this offensive line at the two guard spots, but they are not done. I cannot believe that they are done. And the expectation is that they're going to go heavy at another offensive lineman, maybe by the name of Drew Dalman here pretty soon. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they do here in the next couple of minutes. But once again, as I'm going through this news and reacting to this news, I really appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and check the live track real quick, as we haven't done it in a while. Right now, here's big news. Eagles offensive line Becton appears set to test the free agency market. Originally, before we went out and got, Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson, obviously a lot of Bears fans were really high on Mekhi Becton, right, as an option. I'm not sure if the Chicago Bears would still be interested. I'm not sure if that would make sense for the Chicago Bears at this point, just due to the fact that the Bears, Becton, when you're looking at him, he most likely wants to be a starter, right? So he's not going to sign for a backup, maybe bring him in for competition. Who knows? But this is an interesting piece here that Mekhi Becton is going to test free agency. And I'm pretty sure that he's going to get a massive payday. Had a pretty good year. Obviously struggled as a tackle in his first couple of seasons with the New York Jets, but then when he made that move to guard, had a whole lot of success at that guard position. That really made that Eagles offensive line continue to be great in the National Football League. So once again, looking at some earlier news as well. Like I said, Colts keep right tackle Smith. Has always been a pretty solid player for that Colts offensive line. Obviously, you probably heard about the Panthers giving J.C. Horn a record contract, making that Jalen Johnson contract look really, really nice. And then, of course, Khalil Mack going back to the Los Angeles Chargers on a 1-year, $18 million fully guaranteed deal. So it's going to get interesting here. As we remove that and come back here. Joe, thank you so much for tuning in. He says, Joe Lindsay says, I've heard twice today that the Bears might pass on Drew Dalman instead. First grab Milton Williams first. And that is totally fine. Once again, the Bears want to upgrade the trenches on both sides of the football. When you look at the Bears defensive line, of course, they need another edge rusher, but there's a lot of good edge rushers in the 2025 NFL draft. It would make a lot of sense that you already have Andrew Billings, you already have Javon Dexter, and the Bears are excited about him. Just imagine adding Milton Williams, a rising defensive tackle player, with Javon Dexter in the middle of the defensive line. It would be a good tandem to me, and then obviously you can go in the NFL draft and add an edge rusher to pair with Montez Sweat. Don't forget that we have Austin Booker, and there's high expectations for Austin Booker to take that next step here in Chicago as well. Someone says Dalman's pass blocking grade is not good. You are right, but it's also getting better as the years go on. He is known for his run blocking ability. Remember what Ben Johnson wants to do. He wants to run the football. Dalman is athletic. He's aggressive, right? He's really, really good run blocker. And to me, he's showing steady improvement as a pass protector as well. Let me see. Vitor, I don't want to mess up your name. Vitor, bear down from Brazil. Thank you so much for tuning in from Brazil. That is awesome. Brandon White says, is Jonathan Allen on the free agent market, and would you consider him? Yes, Jonathan Allen is on the free agent market, and I would consider him. He is coming off a torn pectoral injury, where that had him sidelined for most of the season last year. So he is coming off of that, but I wouldn't mind him as maybe a vet option here on this defensive line. I think that would be good. I think the Bears are looking to possibly maybe go younger. Milton Williams, 25 years old, staying at 6'3", 290 pounds. But I think Jonathan Allen would also be a very solid vet option on this Bears defensive line. Someone says we also don't want CW sacked. Yeah, I absolutely understand that. But when you look at the free agency market, when you look at the NFL draft, Drew Dalman is the best available. Who else are we going to get? Okay, I understand there's concerns as a pass protector there, but he has improved as the years gone on. I wouldn't say he's absolutely terrible as a pass protector. Is that his bread and butter? No, that's something that he's still working on, but he's not a terrible pass protector. And I think when you look at his ability to run block, right? When you're able to run block effectively, that obviously opens up opportunities to throw the football as well. So I think when you look at it, sometimes, he's the best option right now. That's how it works. So here we go. We are 1 minute away until the start of the new league year, as it's 8:59 a.m. PST here. But also you have to remember when we're talking about PFF grades, and I've talked to many former players, even current players, about PFF. Sometimes PFF grades can be wonky. I know we always talk about PFF grades, but sometimes you have to take those grades with a grain of salt. Just sometimes, though. Not all the time, but sometimes you got to take those PFF grades with a grain of salt. So here we go. It's 8:59 here. As I think X is back up now, so that's obviously good news. That's obviously really, really good news as free agency is about to begin here in the NFL. And it's 9 a.m. PST. That means the open negotiation period is now here in the National Football League. And as always, I'm going to break every single bit of breaking news right here on the podcast. Someone said, I just want to win games. Let's win games. Absolutely. That's how I feel. I just want to win games. I want to see the Bears play some playoff games, right? And I'm tired of sitting on the couch watching these other teams play, right? While we're sitting on the couch miserable, trying to become off-season champs, right? So here we go. Free agency is now open. Let's see who makes the first move in free agency. We're going to see who makes the first move, right? Obviously, it's not going to happen right away, right? But it's now open for teams to negotiate. Someone said, Drew, Dalman 4 years, $60 million, question mark, $15 million a year. I would take that deal. Someone says, let's get a center and D lineman. Yeah, that would be nice. So here we go. People, it's funny. Bears fans are already kind of going crazy. Like, make a move, Ryan Poles. Literally, it just opened a minute ago, right? Let him talk on the phone, right? Let him go on the phone. Like, sometimes this is a very, very, very patient process here, right? You know, like I said, I don't think it took them very long to sign, I'm forgetting his name, DeAndre Swift last year, right? So we do have some breaking news right here, and the guy was right. Ian Rappaport says another important re-sign. Arizona guard Evan Brown is heading back to Arizona on a 2-year, $11.5 million deal. So that's obviously not good news for the Bears if they do not land Drew Dalman. But it's okay. Says, let Poles and crew cook. Yeah, give him some time. Right? So obviously Evan Brown is now off the table for the Chicago Bears. But it's okay. As we are kind of just waiting for the first move of free agency. Once again, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, as I'm going to give you guys all the breaking news as it comes in. As you guys probably saw, that the Chiefs also, Trey Smith, the guard that we missed out on when they franchise tagged him, he signed his franchise tag, locking him in for $23.4 million on his 1-year deal. So obviously not too bad at all for him. And right now, just very quiet. It's the quiet before the storm here. And people are still wondering if it's working, like if X is still down or not, right? So we're just kind of waiting on the first news and updates here as free agency is officially open. Brandon White says, I seen the Jags release tight end Evan Ingram. Do you think they would get him or go through the draft? I think they would probably mostly go through the draft. I know we just signed a backup tight end just a couple of days ago. I think you can probably just get another one in the draft, not overpay for a backup tight end in free agency. That's just my opinion. But I think Evan Ingram is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. I think it just makes more sense to probably go to the draft. Gustavo says, let's go Bears. Yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. He says, let's go Bears. As always, Bear down here. And we wait. We continue to wait. Here as we are waiting our first news of free agency. Who is going to make the first move? Who's going to make the first move? I heard the Panthers and the Patriots were going to be the most aggressive in free agency. Of course, the Patriots have what, like $125 million in cap space. So they have a massive amount of cap space. Sophisticated Thought says, yeah, no Khalil Mack guessed those insiders was wrong. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes insiders can be wrong, right? Sometimes it's just smoke going around. Doesn't mean it's always going to be true, right? So So we are just waiting here. And sometimes it takes a long time. I'm really not sure what's going on with X or Twitter, though. I'm not sure if it's still down or what's going on with it. So we really just wait here. We really just wait here. The last update that we got 13 minutes ago was Eagles offensive line, Mekhi Becton. So here we go. The Eagles are the first ones on the board as they are going to sign. I'm going to let you guys see the Eagles are going to sign Haason Reddick. Oh no, Eagles are signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My apologies, to a 1-year deal for $14 million, including $12 million guaranteed with the Buccaneers. The deal is negotiated by Drew Rosenhall, right? And that was reported by Adam Schefter. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers add another edge rusher in Haason Reddick. I know Haason Reddick is kicking himself. So obviously he demanded a trade out of Philadelphia, got his wish, and then the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the first one on the board to start the 2025 free agency with signing edge rusher Haason Reddick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Pretty good move. I like that. I know there was a lot of times where, you know, Bears fans, including myself, were saying, hey, would Haason Reddick be a good option for the Chicago Bears? That was prior to him getting traded, I believe a year ago. Just never happened. But yeah, he gets a $14 million deal with $12 million guaranteed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So good deal for him. And Tampa Bay gets a good edge rusher, in my opinion. Good vet edge rusher. Yeah, Oliver says, polls usually waits until the smoke clears. At least that's what we have done in the past. Yeah, we'll see. Remember, you know, the phone's open. You can't contact the agents until it opens, right? So it literally just opened 7 minutes ago, so he can very well be on the phone with Drew Dalman, Milton Williams, right? Josh Sweat. It really just depends. It really just depends. Yeah, but the Bucs make the very first move of free agency. Interesting move for them. Someone said, forgot about Reddick wanting out from the Eagles before they won that. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that he made a massive mistake. He wanted the win so bad, wanted his payday, and you know, I think he wishes that he stayed and got that Super Bowl with Philadelphia. I'll tell you that. JC1 says, it's amazing that a multi-million-dollar contract was negotiated in 6 minutes. I'm sure there was no illegal tampering. Yeah, that's the thing that's funny about this. There has to be a way that they're already communicating, because some of these deals happen too fast for them not to be tampering just a little bit. That's just my personal opinion. But you know, these GMs, and you know, people in these NFL offices and buildings make it happen. So they make it happen. So as we wait here, obviously you guys probably saw that Aaron Jones returned to Minnesota on a 2-year, $20 million contract as well. So obviously good news for them. So here we go. Another move for Tampa Bay. This is actually a big one for Chris Godwin as well. Chris Godwin is back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a 3-year, $66 million. Wow. $44 million guaranteed. So Chris Godwin is back to Tampa Bay. And then also the Chiefs make a move as well, as we're going to tune in to the free agency tracker. They make a move with offensive tackle Moore to the Kansas City Chiefs on a 2-year, $30 million deal, including $21.24 million fully guaranteed at signing. So I'm bringing in some new offensive linemen after losing Joe Thuney via the trade with the Chicago Bears. And like I said, Chris Godwin getting a massive payday after that terrible injury that he faced last year, going back to Tampa Bay. So, wow. That one is a little bit surprising to me. I thought Tampa Bay was going to let him go. Personally, yeah. Someone said Tampa Bay out here trying to lose picks. Yeah, I don't know what that's crazy to me. I really thought Chris Godwin was gone. And like I said, the Chiefs are signing 49ers offensive tackle Jalen Moore to a 2-year deal, $30 million, like I just mentioned. So adding some new offensive line help out there. So we got Tampa Bay and the Kansas City Chiefs on the board here. As we continue to wait on our Chicago Bears making any moves here in free agency. Like I said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out here spending money, right? Got their edge rusher Hassan Reddick. Brought back Chris Godwin, which, like I said, surprises the hell out of me, personally. But hey, I don't hate it. I think Chris Godwin is still a very good receiver. Prior to his injury, the dude was having a massive year. So doesn't surprise me whatsoever. So as we wait for more moves, so like I said, Hassan Reddick to the Bucs, Chris Godwin back to the Bucs, and offensive tackle Moore to the Kansas City Chiefs, giving them some offensive line help. As free agency is off to, I want to say a super fast start, but a pretty fast start here with a couple of quick signings, not obviously by the Chicago Bears. So 12 minutes into the open negotiation period, a couple of moves by two teams, none by the Chicago Bears quite yet. As we wait it out, once again, if you guys are just now joining me, this is KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears, doing a live tracker here for you guys on free agency. Once again, I'll show you guys the screen of the tracker here. Also, like I said, Moore off tackle to the Chiefs. Reddick agrees to terms with the Bucs, and of course, it's not up here yet, but obviously Chris Godwin is back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well on a 3-year deal. Make sure you do me a huge favor by hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification. And share this podcast with every single Bears/NFL fan that you know. Someone says, Big Cheese, KIEQ is ready for some Bears news. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, I am. I'm sitting here looking like a dumb chicken right now, waiting for some Bears news, right? And that's probably most Bears content creators that are on their live streams right now, waiting for some Bears news. So, like I said, we'll break it here first as it comes in. As we continue to refresh the X to make sure we're getting the news. 3 years, $66 million for Chris Godwin is a massive payday coming off an injury. A massive payday coming out off an injury. I'll tell you that. Someone said breaking news. Nope, not yet. Just chilling. You'll know when it's Bears breaking news, because when it's Bears breaking news, this thing will come up. This thing will come up right here. If you don't see this, it has nothing to do with the Bears. I'll tell you this. If it's just like some other team, I'll say breaking news. I'll say breaking news. But if it's Bears, breaking news right here. So like I said, a couple of signings here. Like I said, I'm still shocked about Chris Godwin. They said he tested the market and he got the best deal with Tampa, which is what, $22 million a year? No crap. $22 million a year coming off an injury is a massive payday. Sean Snyder says, Keek, you're doing a great job keeping us updated. I appreciate you guys. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to keep you guys up to date. And like I said, from time to time, I'll show you guys the tracker as well. Like I said, as you can see, it is now updated that wide receiver Chris Godwin is headed back to Tampa Bay. 2 years are fully guaranteed. It's crazy. That to me is the shock right there. I don't know. I thought he was gone. But I know he's well loved over there in Tampa. Breezy saying, watching from Germany, bear down. That's awesome. All the way from Germany. I love that you guys are watching from all different parts of the world. Young Zell says, fucking Bucs. Shake my head. Yeah, I know. My brother-in-law, Young Zell, he's a Broncos fan. He wanted Chris Godwin, but nope, he went back for $22 million. Hey, do you blame him? I would have went back too for $22 million. I would have went back for $22 million as well. As we await. Yeah, I don't blame it at all. Like, think about it. You're like, man, I had a season-ending injury. You're thinking, coming off an injury, you're barely gonna probably get 10 to 12 million, right? Which I know doesn't seem, it's a lot of money for us common folks, but for them, they're like, damn, 10 to 12 million. The dude got 22 million off a season-ending injury. That's crazy. Someone said, Keek, that DK signing was crazy. Yeah. What did he get? Like 25 million a year or something like that? It's crazy. Probably more than that, I think. Someone says, Keek, Bears fan here in Houston. Use your sources. LL, call Hallis Hall and get some insider info. Maybe in the future, guys. Maybe in the future, I'll bless you. I'll bless you with all my sources. See, now that Evan Brown, I want to make a point. Now that Evan Brown went back to the Cardinals, it is huge. It is huge that Ryan Poles was ahead of the game and got Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson. I'll tell you that. That is huge. So here we go. We got breaking news out of Chicago. The top center, according to Ian Rappaport, is off the board. The Falcons center, Drew Dalman, is heading to the Chicago Bears to become the NFL's second paid center. It's a 3-year, $42 million deal with $28 million guaranteed. The deal was done by Steve Carrick of Wasserman Network, whatever, but it's a 3-year, $42 million deal for Drew Dalman for the Chicago Bears, and the Bears now have an upgraded interior line here in Chicago. Huge deal for Drew Dalman, and the Chicago Bears get their center. A big move. That was expected move by the Chicago Bears. Let me put this in the chat real quick. Bears, Dalman, sign. Gotta put it in the chat so people can see. Sign Drew Dalman. 3 years, 42 million with 28 million guaranteed for Drew freaking Dalman. Let's put it on the board. Bears signed Drew Dalman to 3 years, $42 million with $28 million guaranteed. So that's $14 million per year. That is good value. I thought it would have been higher, but the Bears get a very, very good value in Drew Dalman. Once again, Drew Dalman, a very young player still. but still only 26 years old. Really, really good run blocker, still improving in pass protection. But the Bears, what they have been able to do to this offensive line, they go out and trade for Joe Thuney. They go out and trade for Jonah Jackson, and now you get Drew Dalman to complete the interior. You still have Braxton Jones and Dalman Wright playing the tackle spots. Now the Chicago Bears have all the flexibility in the world, to do whatever they want in the 2025 NFL Draft. This is a much improved offensive line on paper. They still got to prove themselves, but this is a huge move for Ryan Poles, and the value that we just got Drew Dalman at is $14 million a year is huge, because I really thought we were going to be in a bidding war. But that shows you that there's a lot of people out there, meaning like Drew Dalman, for example. He probably believes what the Chicago Bears are doing. You have the fancy quarterback in Caleb Williams. You have, Ben Johnson, the high-rising head coach, offensive-minded. He understands what he did in Detroit. And then, of course, he understands that he's playing with a future Hall of Famer in Drew Dalman on one end, and then a really good other guard in Jonah Jackson on the other. So he's well protected. Obviously, Drew Dalman brings a lot of talent to this Bears team as well. A big deal for Ryan Poles. Once again, this was according to Ian Rappaport. The top center in free agency is off the board, as Falcon center Drew Dalman is headed to the Bears to become the NFL's second highest paid center. Dalman gets 3 years and $42 million, with $28 million guaranteed. Let me know how you guys feeling about this move in the comment section. Give me a grade on this move as well. Once again, waiting for the free agency tracker to update us on this, and then we can obviously see it on here as well. Trionic Gaming Titus says A+, heavily needed. Yeah, we haven't had a solid center in a very long time compared to the centers that we've had in the past. Drew Dalman is a major upgrade on the Chicago Bears offensive line. You lock him in for the next 3 years. Obviously, the top center in free agency. The draft is not really heavy on centers. So really love the move here. Yeah, once again, Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson have indeed flipped the offensive line in order to protect Caleb Williams at all costs. Absolutely love this move for the Chicago Bears. It was the projected move for the Bears, and they get it done on a very good value deal for this football team. And like I said, I want to bring this up because Mikey brings a good point. Braxton Jones at left tackle, Thuney at left guard, Dalman at center, Jackson at right guard, and then obviously Darnell Wright at right tackle. That's a very decent offensive line. That's a much improved offensive line on paper. The only other thing is that there could be some Bears fans saying the Bears could maybe look to even replace Braxton Jones. But I think for right now, Braxton Jones should be okay. But obviously getting Drew Dalman was a huge piece to this puzzle. Someone says, what do we do with the number 10 pick now, in your opinion, KIEQ? Like I said, we still have some things to do, right? Like getting an edge rusher, right? Maybe getting another defensive tackle. But I think right now you could still invest in the defensive line, right? You can maybe trade down. Maybe you could stay put at number 10, get James Pierce out of Tennessee to pair with Montez Sweat. Maybe you could still take Will Campbell or Tyler Booker or Armand Membu to tackle out of Missouri. There's so many different ways that we can go. There's going to be some Bears fans saying that we could still go get a running back. Maybe Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State. We don't know what we're going to do now. That gives the Bears so much flexibility, but trading down could also be an option. Someone says left tackle in this draft. This is it would be perfect. Yes, that can definitely be an option. Like I said, we're going to go back and forth. Once again, if you guys are not aware, the Bears had breaking news as they signed Drew Dalman to a 3-year, $42 million contract with $28 million guaranteed. So obviously, big news here in Chicago, as we actually have some news. Once again, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you guys on the screen. It is official, as you can see right here. Center Drew Dalman agrees to a 3-year deal with the Chicago Bears. Right here, once again, according to Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, NFL insiders. Wide receiver Braxton Berrios agrees to a deal with the Texans. So the former Miami Dolphins wide receiver reached an agreement on a 1 year, $2 million deal with the Houston Texans. Obviously, the Texans just traded for Christian Kirk as well, but they get another little special team speedster in Braxton Berrios. Once again, 3 minutes ago, officially, Drew Dalman to the Chicago Bears. Big news here in Chicago. Once again, go ahead and drop your grades down below. I give this grade definitely an A. For me, the Bears need the center. They got it done. They need a center. They got it done. Joseph D. Martini, one of my brothers right here, tunes in. That Chargers fan says, Bears are killing it, bro. Absolutely. They are absolutely tearing it up. I love it. Someone says, what do you think about signing Joey Bosa? Too injured. He'd be cost too much. A little bit too injured. If you're going to go get someone, just go get Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, someone that's younger. I think Bosa was a good player, still can be a good player, but just too many injuries. Yeah, you're right. Braxton Jones may not be a starter, but what other options do we have out there? All the tackles, maybe besides Amon Membu in NFL draft, are not considered tackles in NFL. They're considered guards in the National Football League. So we may have to be patient, unfortunately, with Braxton Jones. That's just the nature of it right now. Someone says, now we are waiting for Trey Hendrickson. If they get Trey Hendrickson today, that would be absolutely insane. So once again, Adam Schefter just posted and just said the Chicago Bears remade their offensive line. Once again, left tackle Braxton Jones, left guard Joe Thuney, center Drew Dalman, right guard Jonah Jackson, and right tackle Darnell Wright. Yep, Big Cheese says, hello, we talked it up. We have Dalman. Yes, Drew Dalman is officially a Chicago. Well, he won't be officially a Chicago Bear until March 12th, until it's official. Once again, breaking news, he does get a 3-year, $42 million deal with $28 million guaranteed here in Chicago. Once again, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 16,000 subscribers right here on the podcast. Once again, I do really appreciate you guys so much. We're going to be here all day breaking the news. Someone says Braxton Jones is 6'5", 310 pounds. Eric Thomas says, man, now sign a D lineman, let Poles effing cook. Yeah. Hey, good move for Ryan Poles. And once again, getting him for $14 million is what's really cool. I like that value. Big Cheese says, KIEQ, what do you think about going back in the draft and getting a Marion now? Yeah, I think the Bears are definitely going to get some type of running back, whether it's Aston Genty, a Marion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scatterboo. I think now that the offensive line is basically remade, I still think, running back is an option, right? So I do expect the Bears to invest in a running back. Kiata Quinley, my dad's in the chat. Papa Bears in the chat says, let's effing go. Bear down to you as well. Once again, if you guys have not seen the news, a lot of people are saying this is the best center the Bears have had since Olin Kreutz. Bears signed Drew Dalman to 3 years, $42 million. Breaking news out of Chicago as we continue to look to make sure there's no more other breaking news. And people are just going crazy right now on X. Drew Dalman is a Chicago Bear. Very, very, very big news. Very, very big news. So we have another more breaking news, not in the Chicago Bears, but free agent D tackle B.J. Hill is signing a 3-year, $33 million deal that includes $16 million guaranteed with the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's going back to the Bengals. So good move there. Appreciate you guys so much. Big G's, I appreciate you guys so much for the $20 super chat. I really, really appreciate you guys and just want to give you a huge shout out. Once again, I do all this for you guys, giving you guys all the latest breaking news as much as I can. But thank you so much for the donation right here on KIEQ on the mic. Someone says, bear down, Papa KIEQ. Great job you're doing, KIEQ. Thank you so much, Big Cheese, for tuning in and showing all the love and support. So like I said, B.J. Hill back to the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, the Bears get their center and Drew Dalman to complete their offensive line. Absolutely love that move for Ryan Poles and Chicago Bears. So what other move would you like to see the Chicago Bears make, right? I know a lot of Bears fans saying that they would love to see them go out and maybe get a defensive lineman now. Would it be Milton Williams? Because here's the thing. You only pay Drew Dalman $14 million a year, right? So that means you have some money to maybe make a splash on a marquee defensive player. The Bears are trying to build the trenches on both sides of the football. Someone says Sebastian Joseph Day. I want him on the Bears. That would be a good, solid pickup for the Bears. That would be a solid pickup for the Bears. I just know that the Bears, Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, are trying to build the trenches, not only on the offensive line, but the defensive line as well. They have heavily invested in the offensive line. They've got that done. Very good for them. But now what is next? They need to invest in the defensive line a little bit more, edge rusher, defensive tackle, and I think you're looking at pretty solid trenches on both sides of the football here in Chicago. So here we go. We have some more news, not breaking news for the Chicago Bears. It says Washington has reached an agreement with former 49ers and Jets D tackle Javon Kinlaw, who rejoins Commanders GM Adam Peters after two worked together in San Francisco. So there you have it. More news, not in the Chicago Bears. We'll see if the Chicago Bears make any more news. Obviously, let's go ahead and tune into the tracker because we have some news on the Green Bay Packers. Not any signings for the Packers, but the latest news on Packers cornerback Jair Alexander. At this point, cornerback Alexander remains a member of the Green Bay Packers. Source said Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst, whatever, is not moving him yet. So, obviously, they were looking to possibly trade him. Obviously, you see the official guard resigned Guard Brown to a 2-year deal. And obviously, the Bears continue O-line rebuild with the add of Drew Dalman. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it, Bears fans. Someone says, you just got to get him help with chip blocks. Yes, that could be an option. What's up with Nick Chubb? Is he healthy? I want a power back. Yeah, Big Cheese. I believe he's going to be ready to go. I'm not sure if that's the route the Bears are going to go. I think if they're going to go power back, like I said, there's Ashton Jinty in the draft. There's Caleb Johnson, Cam Scadaboo. It's a power back. So we'll see. Mikey says, KIEQ, if we get Trey Hendrickson, it will be a trade and it will be somewhere like Bayard and picks. Otherwise, we're cash strapped right now. Yeah. I believe so too. I believe so too. Because we only had $45 million going into free agency. So the Bears could very well just be Drew Dalman and that's it, right? So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. One second. Let me adjust something here. Once again, I do appreciate you guys tuning in today right here on KIEQ on the mic. The Javon Kinlaw deal is a 3-year, $45 million deal with $30 million guaranteed with the Washington Commanders. So a nice deal for Javon Kinlaw there. Going back and having some familiarity with, Adam Peters, dating back to their time in San Francisco. Someone said 170 watching, by the way. Let's go, KIEQ. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, just changing something real quick, doing some updates as I continue to interact with me, and I will obviously answer every single comment in the chat. More news in the NFL. The Chiefs are signing former 49ers running back Elijah Mitchell. So that's a pretty good weapon for Patrick Mahomes right over there. Always liked Elijah Mitchell in his game. So Elijah Mitchell is going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, there we go. There we go. Just changing my title. Once again, I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Yep, Elijah Mitchell to the Chiefs. Once again, we can go tune in and check in on some latest news. Once again, Commanders agreed to 3-year deal with Kinlaw. D tackle Hill back to the Bengals on a 3-year deal. We talked about Alexander. Cardinals re-signed Brown. Berrios agrees to the Texans. And of course, Bears land Drew Dalman, the latest news in the NFL. Once again, for people that are just now tuning in, Bears signed Drew Dalman to 3-year, $42 million deal. As we continue to break all the news, I'm going to go ahead and drop that down. And of course, I will also put it here so you guys can see. So you guys can see the tracker all day so people know what we have done. The free agency tracker on the bottom of the screen that says Bears sign center Drew Dalman. So you guys kind of know what is going on as the news continues to roll in. Little news here and there, but obviously the Bears kind of made the biggest splash so far because Drew Dalman was kind of a highly talented player going into the NFL free agency. I believe he was the number 12 free agent going into this year. So someone says, KIEQ, the title should say live, day one, all the shit. Laugh at last. That's funny. I should have changed it to that. Alexander says, what's up? What's going on, Alexander? Thank you so much for tuning in. Someone said a little late, but I'm here for the party. Our O-line looks great. Yeah, looks great. Obviously, getting Drew Dalman is huge for Chicago. Big Cheese says, do we have enough for Chase Young left? I would say so. I don't know if Chase Young is going to obviously break the bank, right, compared to Josh Sweat or Milton Williams, but they definitely have enough to make a move like that. Once again, I appreciate you guys staying with me for the duration of the stream. It's going to be an all-day live stream, just really chill. We're going to interact all day, get all the news right here on KIEQ on the mic. Bears did make a move by signing center Drew Dalman. Really love the move for $14 million a year. 3 years, $42 million. Perfect deal. Perfect deal for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. Someone says, KIEQ, hope all is well. That is a great signing. Thanks for the update. Now back to work. I appreciate you. I'm going to be here all day, so you guys can tune in whenever you want to catch the latest breaking news on the Chicago Bears and the entire NFL as we talking about free agency here. Troy says, got to release and restructure some players. Absolutely. Maybe DJ Moore's contract, Tremaine Edmonds, Montez Sweat to maybe free up some money, especially if you want to make another big move. But who knows? Maybe the Chicago Bears are content with just Drew Dalman. We never know. We never know until we know, right? So we'll see. I think there's a lot of people that want Josh Sweat, including myself. I would not be opposed to Josh Sweat. He turns 28 next season, 6'5", 265 pounds. Led the Philadelphia Eagles in 24 in sacks, 8 sacks. He had 41 pressures, 9 tackles for loss, right? So, he fits the mold of what Dennis Allen is looking for in his defensive lineman. Big, fast, right? Athletic. So Michael Williams says, it's just amazing. I don't care about being pumped too soon. We have an actual O-line, Bears Nation. Absolutely. On paper, we have an actual offensive line. They still have to produce on the football field, but on paper, it's definitely an upgraded unit for sure. Yeah, Eric Thomas, that's what I thought, that Chase Young signed back with the Saints, but nothing official. Nothing official has come out of it. Once again, a little bit more on Drew Dalman, right? And the reason why there was a lot of Bears fans pounding the table for Drew Dalman, he has excellent leg drive and footwork, natural mover in space. He's perfect center for a zone run scheme, right? So it's one of those things that Ben Johnson wants to run the football, and that is Drew Dalman's strength. It is run blocking, aggressive, athletic. When you get him out in space, gets to the second level, it's going to be a lot of fun to see the transformation of this offense with the actual offensive line in front of Caleb Williams this year. Edward says, I am back. What did I miss? Nothing much. Just the Bears signed Drew Dalman to a 3-year, $42 million deal with $28 million guaranteed. And it's kind of still going through the news. Jason Hines said, I think I would rather have Chase Young than Josh Sweat. I think he will come cheaper, and he has a lot more pressures and a lot more upside, in my opinion. Yeah, and he's 25 years old, right? Still a very young player. Has dealt with a lot of inconsistencies in terms of effort concerns and injuries, but still a very young player with high upside. Brandon says, can we get Membu so he can develop with the line and we can dominate? I hope so. I think that would be a really good move for the Chicago Bears, especially in a trade down. Someone said only Dalman so far. Yes, you guys can obviously share too in the chat what's going on. Yeah, obviously Bears fans are really hyped that we got a center, Drew Dalman. Really, really good pickup. So right now, here's the breakdown of the offensive line in terms of what the Bears are paying. So the Chicago Bears 2025 offensive line is in total $51.2 million against the cap space in 2025. Is this the highest paid offensive line in the National Football League? Braxton Jones is only getting $3.5 million. Jonah Jackson's getting $12 million. Dalman's getting $14 million. Tooney's getting $16 million. And of course, Donald Wright's still on his rookie deal as well, getting $5.7 million. So obviously, the Bears made a conservative effort to invest in the offensive line. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it for the Bears. Absolutely love it. Someone says, KIEQ, if possible, can you put up Drew highlights? I probably could. If you guys would like me to. As the news is coming in, let me just make sure. Just if you guys have never seen him, I can put up some Drew Dalman highlights. Like I said, a great mover in space, really, really good in run blocking. Let me go ahead and put up Drew Dalman highlights for you guys so you guys can see. If I can find any Drew Dalman highlights, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm trying to look for highlights, but sometimes it gets difficult here. Yeah, Mikey says the same thing. I suspect Dalman's pass pro will get better with guards he's got. Absolutely. Being surrounded by Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson is definitely going to help his pass blocking ability. And once again, he's a menace, right, in run blocking. So that's what gets me excited. It gets me really excited. Yeah, Ben Johnson's been a major influence for Ryan Poles already, and what they are trying to accomplish here in Chicago. Yeah, all these moves have Ryan Poles written all over them. So a couple other moves. The Patriots are signing standout linebacker Robert Spillane, the former Raider. So he is heading to the New England Patriots. And the Jaguars are signing Jordan Lewis as well, as he becomes the NFL's highest paid nickel cornerback. So two quick moves by the Patriots and Jacksonville. Still no other moves by Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears here. Like I said, the NFL keeps moving on. A quick another move here by the Rams. The Rams are bringing back quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. He gets a 1-year deal to go back to Los Angeles as the backup quarterback. As it keeps moving on. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I think Kyler Gordon's going to get paid here pretty soon as well. Someone says, I'm kind of upset about the Khalil Mack deal. No, don't be upset about it. $18 million fully guaranteed is a big-time deal. It's a big-time deal. So someone says, looking like Aaron Rodgers will be a Steeler. Definitely could be. As we kind of wait. So right now, this is how we are working with free agency moves so far. Son Reddick is a Buck. Jalen Moore, left tackle, is a Chief. Chris Godwin back to the Bucs. Drew Dalman went to the Chicago Bears. Braxton Berrios went to the Texans. Elijah Mitchell, running back, went to the Chiefs. Javon Kinlaw went to the Commanders. And B.J. Hill went to the Bengals. So a couple of the initial moves. I'm excited about Drew Dalman, though, guys. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm really, really excited. Someone said Darnell Wright is going to look even better with these new additions to the line. Yeah, absolutely. He was always like the shining star to this offensive line. He was always the shining star to his offensive line. So once again, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is headed back to the Rams. So that is good news here for obviously the Rams backup quarterback, a solid backup quarterback. Someone says, how about our cap right now? How much we have? So we had $45 million going into free agency. And of course, with the move of Drew Dalman, I would have to do more research and see where the Bears cap situation is now. Probably still enough to sign maybe a couple of other players, maybe not any splash signings, but the Bears could definitely make it work. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, Josh Sweat's still on the board. Milton Williams is still on the board. There's still a lot of players on the board. So yeah, someone said around $31 million still to spend. But you have to keep in mind that you have to save some cap space, not only for your own free agents, but for the NFL draft as well. Once again, I do appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you do me a huge favor as you come in, hitting that like button. That is much appreciated so the stream can get out there to more people. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. We are on the road to 16,000 subscribers here on KIEQ on the Mic. I really, really, really appreciate you guys tuning in for the duration of this live stream as I'm breaking news all day right here on the podcast. Like I said, I could see the Chicago Bears making some little moves as well. Someone said, what about Tevin Jenkins? Tevin Jenkins is going to be hitting free agency for sure, finding a new team here shortly. So as we're going to look towards, obviously, linebacker Spillane. He was a standout linebacker. He gets a 3-year, $37 million contract with the New England Patriots as the Patriots are beginning to spend some money as they try to rebuild their football team with new head coach Mike Vrabel over there. Obviously, Bears fans are still buzzing about Drew Dalman being the newest Chicago Bear. Like I said, I'm still really, really impressed with what we were able to get Drew Dalman for. $14 million a year is a great deal. It's a great deal for both sides, especially what you are getting. Especially what you're getting in Drew Dalman. And especially what you've already built on this offensive line, right? Big Cheese says the draft is overflowing with D tackles and edge rushers. We are all good. Absolutely. That's all I'm saying. It wouldn't surprise me if the Bears try to get Josh Sweat and then go into the draft and just take best player available. Yeah. Sometimes players don't have highlights on YouTube, right? But like I said, you guys can definitely go look and take a look as well. It's funny because I'm on social media right now, and there's other teams saying, do something, right? Sometimes teams just sit back, right, and let the process play out. A lot of teams will do like second wave. Not all teams make first wave free agency signings, and maybe someday that will be the Chicago Bears as they continue to rebuild their roster. And it's because they don't need to, right? The Chicago Bears had to go out and try to land Drew Dalman, right? Because we all understand that when you're looking in the NFL draft, it's not a deep class in terms of the centers in the NFL draft this year. So this was a must-have for the Chicago Bears. And the funniest thing to talk about when you're talking about Bears fans right now, it's funny how we are reacting to having a good offensive line or potentially a really good offensive line, right? We haven't seen it in a long while. So it will be fun to finally see, hopefully, our quarterback be protected with all the upgrades that we have on this O-line. Mick Muffin says, do you think we go all in on a defensive line? Those first 3 picks we have. Yeah, I think so. I think I think it would be a good idea to go D tackle or edge rusher in the first 3 picks, along with a running back, maybe another offensive lineman. Maybe the Bears are trying to make a move for Trey Hendrickson. We don't know. We don't know what Ryan Poles is up to. The dude is always working. He's always working. Just a quick little news update. The Jacksonville is signing cornerback Jordan Lewis. He heads to Jacksonville. Once again, we can take a look at the free agency tracker right now. Just keep you guys up to date on all the news. And here we go. Updates. Once again, Jags to sign cornerback Lewis to a 3-year deal. Standout linebacker currently of the Las Vegas Raiders is heading to New England. Spillane gets a 3-year, $37 million deal. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo headed back to Los Angeles. Commanders agreed to a 3-year deal with Kinlaw. Bengals re-signed B.J. Hill. Obviously, the news on Alexander. Evan Brown, 2-year deal. And, of course, the big one so far, for us, at least as Bears fans, Drew Dalman goes to the Chicago Bears. Someone asked, how old is Drew Dalman? He's 26 years old, so still a very young player. So definitely fits what Ryan Poles is looking for, right? Honestly, Braxton Jones is still young. Darnell Wright's still young. Jonah Jackson's 28. Drew Dalman's 26. And Joe Tooney's the only aging veteran, right? He's going to be 33 this next year. So, but he still has, a lot of people say, still the best football ahead of him. So that's obviously really, really good news. All right, Bears fans, I'm going to take a quick little break. Stick with me. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick little break, come back, and continue dropping news right here on the podcast. I appreciate you guys. And what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and put up this as I'm taking a break so you guys can actually keep track of the news while All right, Bears fans, I am back. And as you can see, there is breaking news. Obviously, the Panthers are working to finalize a deal with defensive tackle Milton Williams. Obviously, we were talking about him a little bit, about maybe possibly him coming to the Chicago Bears. But now he's going to be off the table as the Panthers end up spending big on a defensive tackle. Once again, still trying to figure out the numbers there. Obviously, big here, right? This is what we were talking about before free agency started. That a lot of good offensive linemen, not great, but good offensive linemen were going to get big paydays. And that happened right here for offensive tackle Dan Moore Jr. Set to sign a 4-year, $82 million contract with $50 million guaranteed. But obviously, this is the big one right now. Panthers working to finalize a deal with defensive tackle Milton Williams. And once again, still trying to figure out the numbers for that move. But that's obviously a big move for the Carolina Panthers to try to shore up the middle of that defensive line. But I'm pretty sure that number for Milton Williams is big. I know that the Panthers had some money to spend as they continue to try to build that football team, that young football team over there. Again, I appreciate you guys staying tuned in with me. I know I took a little break. Once again, we'll stay on for as long as possible all day. Like I said, I'll take breaks from here to there and just put up the free agency tracker screen so you guys can see what's going on while I'm away. Like I said, I do really appreciate you guys staying in tune with me. What other moves could the Chicago Bears make? Are they in on Josh Sweat? Are they in on Dio, the edge rusher from the Indianapolis Colts, right? There's still some players out there that I can see the Chicago Bears maybe going after. It really just depends on the money. It really just depends on the money aspect. Like I said, I'm just looking for what Milton Williams got from the Carolina Panthers. I'll see a big deal for him and the Panthers, as news is kind of coming fast and furious here around the National Football League. Titans shoring up their offensive line with offensive tackle Moore, giving him a big payday. So we will see what's going to happen. Someone asked, do you believe that if the Bears make a substantial improvement on both sides of the line, they could potentially lead them to the Super Bowl? Possibly. You know, I always believe that you win and lose in the trenches, and it all depends on, one, your quarterback, and of course, your head coach. Of course, this is Ben Johnson's first year, but this is Caleb Williams' second year, right? And we expect him to take that big jump. I won't say as far as Super Bowl, but this is a team that I could think can possibly make the playoffs this year, just if everything goes right. But as always, you know, you're talking about a first-year head coach. There may be some things that happen. But, yeah, this team could definitely be competitive. Someone said, how about 1 year, $10 million for Chase Young? That could definitely be a possibility. That I would actually like that move. All right, so here we go. The Patriots spending, once again, a big one, according to Tom Pelissero, are signing Carlton Davis, a cornerback who gets a 3-year, $60 million deal with $34.5 million guaranteed. That's big money for Carlton Davis right there, and that just shows you that the Patriots just have a whole lot of money to spend. So they are going to spend just to spend. That is a big contract. That is a big contract for Carlton Davis right there. Heading to the New England Patriots. The Patriots spending big right now. Well, I'm guessing that will be their cornerback one over there. Yeah, Dan Moore, left tackle from the Steelers, getting 4 years, $82 million. That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. He's a good player, though. He's a good player. Not great, but that's a huge deal for him. Big Cheese says, I'm still not giving up on Karan Amagaji. Yeah, me neither. He's in the second year. He's a rookie. He wasn't ready to play. And of course, you have to understand that we didn't have the coaches to really develop anybody, especially when you look at the offensive line coach. He didn't really know how to develop nobody. Now you have Dan Rochard that I have a lot of faith in, and just the coaching staff in general here in Chicago is going to be able to develop the guys the right way. So I think Karan Amagaji could turn into a good player. So once again, it just says Panthers are working to finalize a deal with Milton Williams per source. No numbers have come out on that, but Milton Williams, one of the best defensive tackles in this year's free agency period, looks like he's about to be off the market, and he's going to the Carolina Panthers. So once I get the numbers to those, I'll definitely let you guys know. The question is, will Ryan Poles make any more moves? Maybe in the trenches? Well, maybe they'll add another wide receiver, maybe a wide receiver 3. Who knows? Who knows what Ryan Poles got up his sleeve? I could definitely see Josh Sweat or Chase Young being a possibility for this football team. Chase Young could definitely be a possibility just because of his familiarity, not only with Montez Sweat, but obviously his familiarity with Dennis Allen as well. Once again, as we're going through the news here, I know there's a lot of Bears fans in the chat saying they're okay with Chase Young. Josh Sweat may be a stretch just depending on what his money is looking like. But obviously, the big news here, and I'll go ahead and put it on the screen right now on this hour, that Patriots agreed to a 3-year deal with cornerback Carlton Davis. 3 years, $60 million. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. Okay, leave that up for a little bit. Thank you guys so much for staying with me. This is gonna be a pretty much all day live stream. You know, if it starts getting if it kind of starts dying down, I'll probably hop off for today. Like I said, I'm anticipating that Ryan Poles may make one more move, or he may be content with just getting Drew Dalman and say, you know what, we're gonna get a bunch of second wave free agents, which is okay as well, and go into the NFL draft. That's a massive deal for Carlton Davis right there. Man, that is a massive deal. Yeah, he was one of the top corners on the market, and lands a big deal. And obviously being with a defensive guy like Mike Vrabel, that makes a whole lot of sense. That move makes a whole lot of sense for a defensive minded head coach, right? You need a lot of people view, and this is true, cornerback is a premium position in the National Football League. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense for New England. So now there's rumors about Aaron Rodgers. I don't really like talking too much about Aaron Rodgers, but it sounds like he's getting close to signing a deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it would be better off for them to sign Justin Fields, but yeah, it seems like a deal's getting close for him to go over there to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where he now has DK Metcalf to throw to, right? And of course, George Pickens as well. Not sure what they're going to do with Najee Harris over there. So that would be an interesting situation to kind of monitor over there in Pittsburgh. Once again, I just want to put up this comment. Someone said I would sign Chase Young. Like I said, Chase Young is definitely an option. Sitting there, only 25 years old. Like I said, the only thing with Chase Young has had a history with injuries and effort concerns everywhere he goes. But I think him coming back with Montez Sweat and having Dennis Allen, where he had a really good year under Dennis Allen, it makes a lot of sense for the Chicago Bears and probably would definitely be cheaper than going out and getting Josh Sweat. Someone posted on X, and this is actually really, really funny. Someone said the Bears went from Sam Mustipher to Coleman Shelton and now to Drew Dalman. Yeah, that's a major upgrade, I would say. That's a major upgrade. He also says that the Seattle Seahawks are expected to talk with Aaron Rodgers as well. You know, they just traded away Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders. So it seems like the Seahawks are obviously in need for maybe a bridge quarterback. And could Aaron Rodgers provide that for them so at least they can stay somewhat competitive as they rebuild their football team? Trade away DK Metcalf, trade away Geno Smith. Of course, you have JSN still over there. But they still want to probably remain somewhat competitive, not like in terms of winning a Super Bowl, but just stay competitive so they can keep the seats filled over there in Seattle. That would be an interesting move. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is washed, but that's just my personal opinion. Once again, just want to give a huge shout out to Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles for really revamping this offensive line, right? Just in one offseason. And there's still a lot of work to do. They can still add in the NFL draft as well. But to be able just to trade 2 late round picks, right? One in this year's draft and one in next year's draft, to get 2, to me, really good guards in Jonah Jackson and Joe Tooney, and then get the best center available on the market to upgrade the interior is huge. It's huge. So huge shout out to Ryan Poles. And like I said, the influence of Ben Johnson is also a heavy factor as well. Once again, I'll be in and out all day of the stream, but this will be an all-day live stream. Even if I put up this right here, just so you guys can see the news coming in consistently right here on the podcast. Once again, make sure you do me a favor by hitting that subscribe button and the notification. I really, really appreciate you guys. Once again, I'm thinking about doing a giveaway here pretty soon. Yeah, I think so too. Someone said, I think they are done with any more big name signings. Could be definitely the case. Once again, I'll stay on as long as possible if anyone's interested in seeing the news here. Once again, the latest breaking news is Patriots agreed to a 3-year deal with Carlton Davis. So definitely big money for Carlton Davis that was really sought after in free agency. Probably the best cornerback on the market. And he goes to me, a really good spot with Mike Vrabel in New England. Once again, just kind of reading through social media, just making sure there's no more big news here. Once again, I do really appreciate you guys tuning in, right? Especially what the Bears were able to accomplish. The reason why I want to do this stream so early, because I had a feeling that they were going to sign Drew Dalman right away, and they did. It didn't take them very long. Signed him to a 3-year, $42 million contract. With $28 million guaranteed. Obviously a big deal for Chicago. Obviously Milton Williams is off the board now. Josh Sweat, Chase Young are still available if they want to go get an edge rusher. We'll see. We'll definitely see. So someone said that X is still out, and that's why it's hard to see the news. All right, once again, Bears fans, I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, and that's the thing. X just came back on. Someone said as soon as you get off, they're going to sign someone else. Yeah, and that's always the risk that you take, right? When you do this kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know why X is going. It's going on and off. X all day is going on and off. All right, Bears fans, like I said, I appreciate every single one of you guys. We've been on for about 2 hours now. Like I said, I'm going to hop off, but like I said, if there's any more breaking news, I will definitely hop right back on and break it right here first on KIEQ on the Mic. Once again, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If you guys were late to the channel and didn't see the news, the Bears signed Drew Dalman, center Drew Dalman, 3 years, $42 million, $28 million guaranteed. Make sure you do me a huge favor by hitting the subscribe button, the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Do me a huge favor by liking this live stream as well, and share this podcast with every single Bears fan that you know. We are on the road to 16,000 subscribers, and we are continuing to grow. Love and appreciate every single one of you guys. But for now, I'm going to hop off and end the stream. So as always, to every single one of you guys, bear down.